Good afternoon. It's Jemima, the connection coach. So, technical wonders. We are live on Zoom, live on Facebook, live on Instagram, maybe even live on Mighty Networks. Oh my God, amazing. So I am coming here to talk to you about holy fire. And this is the name of my new gathering of powerful women, and it's a community that I'm creating. I had a conversation this morning with my sister and was describing how I haven't had this feeling since I began a company called Positive Living years ago, which was also a community of heart-led business people, events, networking, connection, and I'm a gatherer of people. I'm a connector. It's my bag. It's what I do, and I sometimes can see the connections where others cannot, and this is part of how I create. So what I'm going to tell you about today is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the energetics of this creation and what it feels like. This is really important because in order that you can get a really genuine, authentic flavor of this thing, how will you know if you want to be a part of it unless you can know that, right? So that's what I'm going to explain. I'm going to talk a little bit about intentional living, and I'm going to talk then about the benefits for you if you jump in to this community. And then at the very end, I'm going to talk about the specifics of what's included, any bonuses, what you need to do next, how long the discounts are available for, etc., etc. But that's not coming to the very end. So, and this replay will be available for the next few days at least. So if you don't have time to stick around to the end, we're probably going to run for 45 minutes to an hour. If you don't have time, you can always revisit. Bearing in mind, you've only got a couple of days to jump in at the founders rates, which are 50% of the actual price it's going to be. Anyway, all that being said, holy fire, self-mastery for women. Why? So I want to tell you a little story about my journey of being a creator, of knowing myself to be a creator, of actually owning that, and also the kind of twists and turns of how that transpired and how I moved from being someone who just needed to do everything on her own, herself, to a fully fledged feminine force that accepts and invites support and actually knows that that makes me stronger and it helps what I do to be sustainable. Because without support and without collaboration, it's not sustainable, not for any of us. So I do want to talk about that. If you know me already, then you'll already know part of my story, that I came from a family that was extremely religious, with very specific ways of behaving and rules and guidelines, etc., which I decided for real that I would move away from when I was about 15. I didn't actually leave the family home until I was 17. I didn't expect to go into this story. This is weird. Okay. But it's integral. It's integral because at that time, at 17 years old, when I left everything I knew to go just towards freedom, it wasn't even that I had latched on to something that I really, really wanted. It was a moving away from. It was, I am going away from this and into the great big unknown, into freedom. And in order to do that and to pull it off, I had to really believe in myself and really believe in my ability and really believe in my independence and my tenacity to actually go it alone, which served me so well, really did. And I'm not knocking that at all. It served me in lots of ways. And it meant that I was really good at taking responsibility. It meant that I was super good at sticking with something through thick and thin, just like, I'm going to do this, being quite bloody minded. It meant that I was really, really good at thinking of creative solutions. When it appeared that every door was closed, I would think of a different creative solution in order to get to the end result that I desired. So yeah, character building, you could say. Moving forward in time, there is such limitation in this way of operating. So in the last few years, I've learned so much about the true feminine and the energy that supports the feminine, and also the frequency of truth, which is really something that I'm absolutely committed to. And it's an embodied sense. It's something that is felt in my body and that I know to be true. And it's not a concept, it's not dogma, it's not somebody else's idea. It's an absolute inner knowing, and that can only come from the amount of pure attention that I pay to my own process and to keeping myself a clear channel. So ridding myself of the residue of emotional, energetic, physical, all the residue that collects from being a human. Being able to address that on a daily basis helps me clear my own channel so that I can discern what is true. And when I can do that, then I can be led in the way that is absolutely meant for me to be led in. So I also talk a lot about destiny and intention, and like destiny pulls you and intention drives you forward, and somewhere they meet. So I'm not going to go there because that's long and complex. I want to try and stick with what I'm talking about. So all this is to say that really learning and being kind of initiated into this deep feminine wisdom has allowed a new way of operating to come to light for me, a way that I just was not accessible to me before. So I always imagined that I knew the right way. And I also always imagined that I had to do it myself. And there was a huge part of me that was gathering my self-worth from that ability to do it without any help. And that's a big one. And that's one that I see all over the place in women, is that somehow there's this like proving, there's this almost desperation to make sure other people know that you did do it yourself and that you didn't ask for help and you didn't need any support, because then somehow that means that you are worthy. And I want to dissolve that notion. I want to absolutely dissolve that notion, because it hurts us. And it means that we stay in places that don't serve us as women, as human beings. We somehow adopt or subscribe to this version of penance, where if only we do this, this, and this, if only we pay with so much pain, then we can have the thing, or then we can be worthy, or then we can show people that we have value. And that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. And it really, really takes a whole mindset shift to go into a place of understanding that you are worthy just because you are here, just because you're alive. You are worthy. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to do anything. And it's one of the paradoxes that is hard to get your head around if you're coming from that space of either or, which is so prevalent right now in many ways. This thing that I'm creating is because I want you to believe in the version of you that is still cooking. The version of you that is not quite existing yet in 3D reality, but you know it's there. And in order for that version of us to fully blossom and bloom, we need to be planted in the right environment. We need to be in a space that supports and celebrates that growth and that unique beingness of who we are, so that we can separate our self-worth from productivity, from what we're creating. And so that we can know that, we can know our worthiness from just being alive, just being here. And in the comfort of that, then we get to be full. And as we fill up, then we start to express and to share all the goodness that we have effortlessly. So a man called Jim Rohn said, "You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with." Really famous quote. And I want to add to that as well, that you also are the accumulation of all of your conditioning. So it's hardly ever a matter of learning something new. It's a matter of unlearning. So unlearning everything that you've been told and taught, and all the ways that you have shrunk yourself in order to secure love and attention, is often a matter of dissolving that and unlearning it. And in order to do that, because our brains can't process a negative anyway, we need to get ourselves into communities that actually celebrate us for all of our quirks and loveliness and beingness, and not for what we create, not for how productive we are, not for how outwardly successful we are, but actually for the presence of us, the spirit of who we are. So something else I wanted to add to this is the benefit of committing to this path. So you may well be already on a path of self-mastery, and you may absolutely know the worth of committing to the inner journey, if you like, and to being who you came here to be. So I say this a lot. It's like, remember why you came here. There's only one of you. And if you don't share what you've got, the world won't have it, because nobody else can do it quite like you can do it. In order to have the confidence to share and to express and to be fully yourself and to find your voice, it's really important that at the beginning, and in fact all the way through, but especially at the beginning, that we are surrounded by people who understand this path that we're on and who are also on that path as individuals. So they're not looking for the outward markers either. They're not looking for the external markers of like doing well, of success, of it all working, because they also know that it's an inside job, and that as long as you know it's all working, as long as they know it's all working, then it's all working. And this is such a paradigm shift. If you come, say, like you come from corporate, or you come from I don't know, but like it's huge. It's a huge shift. I've come from co-running a six-figure business, of a cleaning business. I've been in the world of the 10,000 things for many years, and it's a whole different setup there. And when you come into running a soul-led business, something that sets your heart on fire, something that you absolutely must do, what a famous writer called the Es muss sein, which is it's like it must be. It just must be. When you start to really embrace that life, it can feel very lonely. It can feel like no one gets it. Like nobody actually understands what it's like to do this. And at the beginning, also, you generally have to do most of the stuff yourself. I've been in this for a while, and I'm still doing all the stuff myself in terms of technical and administration, but I am getting such amazing soul level support, so that as I grow what I'm doing, I am able to lean on other women. I am able to be celebrated and seen at whatever stage I'm at. I don't have to be anywhere particular. I don't have to have achieved something in particular, reached a bar, in order for them to celebrate me. And there is something magical in that, especially if you've not been used to it before. So this is all part of the community that I'm creating. And the reason that we need this support is because we're human beings, right? It's because we need connection. We all need connection. There's a really famous self-development book called The 7 Habits by Stephen Covey. And one of my favorite ones is Begin with the End in Mind, because that speaks very much about intention to me. And that's part of my spiral process, is that you need to have intention, you need to be intentional. But the 8th habit, which I think was his book that preceded that one, is to find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. And that is so, so important. Not only is it about our journey and us being able to express from this place of fullness so that we can create effortlessly out into the world, so that we can bring through whatever gifts we have. But in the doing of that, we actually inspire other people and we help them to find their voice as well so that they can do the same thing. So it's this beautiful virtuous circle that by doing what is good for us, by filling our own cups, we're actually helping other people to fill theirs. So it's a little bit like that, put your own mask on first on the aeroplane. It's always a misnomer. It's always a like faulty reasoning to assume that you need to sacrifice yourself in order to be of help to other people, because it's just not sustainable. So if you want to really be of service, then first of all, you need to do and be and have what brings you joy, because otherwise it's not sustainable. We are here to enjoy it. We're here to enjoy being alive. And if we're not enjoying it, what good are we to anybody else? We end up being takers. So if we're operating from that place of penance and of like, oh, I must do this because it will make me feel worthy, or because I feel like other people need me more, it's all faulty. It's all faulty reasoning. So in order for us to be truly of service and to be really generous, genuinely generous, we need to fill our own cup. And this community, Holy Fire community, is dedicated to that. Not only is it dedicated to the path of self-mastery, to the frequency of truth, and it's about your alignment, but it's about you getting full. So there's a very big realization that I've had in the last few years, that a lot of women are not okay with the size of their desire. Now, this is really big. This is such a big one. And for whatever reason, I'm not going to go into all the millions of reasons why, but it can feel really confronting to admit the size of your desire, like how hungry you are, how much you want. And in order to really get full so that we can express our gifts and give them freely, it's imperative that we admit the size of our desire and that we plant ourselves in spaces where that is normalized, to have big desires, to have a big hunger, and to want more and to have more. Like, you get to have it. It can be so confronting. And I am absolutely here for the full celebration of everyone's desire. I am here for you showing up as your full size, taking up space and getting really full, and then letting the world see and share everything that you are. But this really gives me shivers to talk about this, and I'm super, super excited to be creating a space where this is true, where you get to be held with love and respect. You get to practice saying hard things, radically honest things. You get to sit in your true desire and to be able to take up space and share that in a community that welcomes all of you and that welcomes that. They're not threatened by you showing up as big as you came here to be. And the benefit of this is so huge. It's so huge. It will bring you to life. It will absolutely bring you to life. The only things that I can compare this to are some of the incredible coaching containers that I know are on offer out there, and I know have this kind of energy. And also they are financially out of reach for some, because we're talking $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month in order to be a part of these kind of communities. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to charge a low, affordable rate for this so that we can grow it really big, because I want to create a movement. I want to create a whole community of switched on, turned on women who know their power, who are not afraid to ask for more, and who are ready to deliver the full potency of their gifts out into the world and really make a positive difference. And it's big. It's a big vision. So this is why I'm here. This is what's come through. This is what wants to happen now. So let's move forward into some of the tangible benefits for you, okay, which I have touched on. That was really the energy of the space. Some of the tangible benefits for you are that you get to have a space and a community that you can share with anytime, day or night. Someone's going to be awake, because it's worldwide. It's not just in your country. And it's going to be hosted over on Mighty Networks, which is this part of the network is closed. So there will only be women who are on a similar path to you within that container. You're also going to be able to attend a monthly Mastermind live call, which I will lead personally, by the way, because it is only me right now. So you get me and my 25 years plus of experience and wisdom doing what I do. And you get to bring whatever is the most important to you, because this is one of the best things about doing business holistically. This isn't just business. Like this is the human experience and delivering our gifts. Yes, we need to eat. Yes, we need to charge money. Yes, it's a business, and it's not separate from who we are as people. So the conversation is so broad. The conversation is around well-being, is around sexuality, is around money, is around pleasure, is around how you take care of yourself, is around what you need, what you love. It's all of that, because it's all of you. So this community will be like it will be a broader expression of who each of you are. So as we create it, we will create the shape of it, which is also really exciting, because as a founding member, you get to really have some say in the direction that this is going to go in. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, monthly Mastermind, which means that I am going to deliver some wisdom based around my spiral process. So a lot of that is to do with embodiment, to do with intention, it's to do with mind mastery, and it's also to do with conscious connection, which is absolutely key to any kind of business, let alone heart-led business. You need to know how to connect well with other people so that you can know that what you're saying is being heard, and so that you can also hear them, and so that you can not let your message get lost in translation. So this results in being able to reach the right kind of people and to be able to have them resonate with you. So not everyone is for everyone, we all know that, but when you're really clear, when you're being so clear because your channel is clear, then your people come to you, you magnetize. It's the way of the feminine. You radiate and you magnetize. So you are the lighthouse, and you don't go running up and down the coast. You stand firm and you shine your light, and your people come. And it sounds simple, and I know it's not simple, but this is why self-mastery, because the clearer we get on who we are, the clearer our message is, and the more our people are able to see and hear us and come towards us. So this is brilliant. This is really a massive part of the strength in us coming together. Included in that mastermind is some hot seat laser coaching. So that means that if you come on as a founding member, you've got a lot more chance of getting coached in one of those sessions, because there'll be fewer of us. As we grow, it's going to get busier. But it means that you can bring any challenge that you are experiencing in any area of your life, in your relationship, in your love life, in your sex life, in your business, with a client. You can bring it and you can be coached on that specific issue to you and get a different perspective and get some real internal wisdom. So often it can just be a matter of you being reflected by the community and by me, and you will tune in to your deepest inner wisdom so that you actually know the answer. I'm a firm believer that most of us know the answers anyway. We just need the space for the magic to happen, for us to be able to see our own wisdom, to have our blind spots illuminated. So that laser coaching is awesome. Super excited about that. Another benefit, something that I'm really excited to offer, is something that I have only offered so far in my paid program, Reverence. And every cohort who has been through Reverence has absolutely raved about this part of the program. And it's where we come together for, in the program, it's for a week. Within this membership, it will be for 4 days of the month. We come together in a private WhatsApp group, and we leave voice notes for each other based on a theme. So often the theme is, what is my desire? And for this, we'll have a different theme each month. And you listen to everybody else's voice notes, and then you leave a voice note, and something really amazing happens within this conversation, because it's not quite in real time, but there is a real opportunity for you to use your voice to express things that maybe you haven't expressed before, and to practice this conscious communication and radical honesty. And as you do that in this safe space, suddenly you're creating evidence that you can do this outside of this safe space, and you can do it in other parts of your life and see what happens. So I haven't come up with a fancy name for that yet, but that is part of this thing that I'm offering. One more thing. I think that might be it. Yeah. And so because we're hosted on Mighty Networks, there's also going to be other material available for you. So there'll be articles, there'll be guided audio meditations, and there'll be the community that you can interact with and have conversations with. And so often it transpires that the community takes on a life of its own, and you start to help each other and support each other and celebrate each other almost organically. So even without the mastermind each month, even without the hot seat coaching, even without the WhatsApp conversations and the practice, then because you are in this intentional community, it starts to follow this track of your joint intentions. And now I missed this at the beginning, but I was going to say about intentional living. Anybody who's interested in me and my platform and in this has an eye on intentional living, as in you're not just kind of bobbling around and waiting for life to happen to you. You have a vested interest in creating, in consciousness, in being who you came here to be. And with that in mind, then you get to collect the evidence. So the more intentional you are about any area, any quadrant of your life, then you get to see what those results are when you hold that intention. And when we come into communities like this, our intention is super potent, because not only do we have our own energy behind it, but we have the energy of the community behind it. And this is so important to me. The fact that we are all our fellow sisters' biggest celebrator. It's massive. And especially if you know that you have issues around the sisterhood wound or the mother wound, this is like the solution to this, is to come and immerse yourself in community of heart-led women who are all on the same path of consciousness and truth and alignment. So it's a life-changing opportunity. And we do have agreements for our space and for the community, and they're really important as well. So should you choose to come in, that they are they're very clear and laid out, and you will have a chance to look at those and read those before you say yes. But really, they're there to keep us all safe and to make sure that our community runs in a way that feels like family on a good day. Okay, so that's what I'm aiming for, you know, the best. Okay, who else? What else? I'm just looking at people popping up on Instagram as I'm speaking. So I'm going to move now into the bonuses and discounts that are available, because I've told you all the other things. I'm doing founders rates at the moment because I'm moving across onto Mighty Networks and off of Facebook, away from the Facebook censorship and all the rest of it. The founders rates are for people who join the Mighty Network, and this is where it's going to be hosted. I'm not going to be fully over there until the beginning of 2022, but we are building and members are here already. So founders rates are 50% of what they're actually going to be. And anybody who pays in full for a year's membership gets a one-on-one coaching session with me, which is called a catalyst call, which are rarer than hen's teeth, as they say. I used to do these a lot, but I do far fewer of these now. So if you would like to benefit from an hour of me where you can bring anything you want, you can bring any challenge that you're currently going through, anything that feels super important to you, and you will get an hour of my undivided attention and wisdom and illumination so that you can finally see your own wisdom on that particular challenge. Lots and lots of people have had amazing experiences through these calls. They're really powerful, and for it to be included is brilliant because I hardly ever offer them, and when I do, it's £250 an hour. So you're getting an absolute bargain. So that's for the people who want to pay in full for annual membership, which at the moment I think is the equivalent of $555 for the year. So you're getting also 20% off the monthly rate. If you choose to do pay as you go, that's absolutely fine. It's £57 a month. You can cancel at any time. There's no obligation to stay. And we're going to go live as soon as I've got 9 members who have signed up. Okay, so what else did I want to say to you? I think that was probably it. But I'm going to be available for questions and stuff because I can't do questions while I'm talking, and also because I'm going live on like 4 different platforms, it's really hard to keep up. Tech phases me a little. So yeah, if you have questions, then my inbox is open. And also you can come across and join Mighty Networks anyway, free of charge, and just be part of the community. I'm going to continue the free things that I've got going on Facebook already. I'm going to put them over on Mighty Networks. So things like Connection School, things like the daily posting, daily wisdom posting, they're all going to be available on there, and you can join. You just have to download the app and find my network, which is Jemima House, and then you can come in, and then it's up to you entirely which, if any, paid offerings you want to take advantage of. I'm pretty sure that founders actually get a discount on any other paid programs that they choose, but I need to check that. So apologies for the vagueness of this final part. It's the bit I'm the worst at. But I've really enjoyed speaking to you, if anybody's been watching and listening. And yeah, come find me, ask me questions. And I'm going to put the joining link underneath this post on Facebook. And if you're on my mailing list, I'm going to send that out to you so that you know exactly what to do next to come and jump into holy fire and be part of this brand new community. I really hope you come with. All right, lots of love. Bye-bye.